Good morning and welcome to Behind the Screen. I am JM. I'm very glad to be here with you. This is a game or a show where we talk about games, board games, card games, role-playing games. Things of beauty, things that are inspiring, and there's very little more inspiring in February. If you are a fan of Savage Worlds, then the Triple F February Creator Jam that is currently going on right now. Good morning to Padre, to DM James, and to John Doom. To all of you, I hope you are all feeling well. And yeah, I'm looking forward because today we are going to create our monsters that we sketched out last week on the channel. So we came up with an insectoid race that was corrupted by magic of the area sort of being polluted, corrupted, for lack of a synonym there. And so today we're going to cover creating kind of the warrior drone cast and then these insectoid queens that have a hive mind, that have sort of so internalized this corrupted mana that they have become liches. And as we all know, no, I'm not going to say that. I did catch Altered Morality, DM James. If you guys are not familiar, Altered Morality is the new Knights of the Smith Dinner Table show that is streaming on the Pinnacle Entertainment Group channels. It'll be every other Thursday night, and James is running that for us, which is awesome. Tink, good to see you. John Doom, liches do get stitches. That's what I was going to say. All right, so let's talk about this. If you've ever built a creature in Savage Worlds, it is remarkably easy to do. So we're going to start with the drones, and immediately I feel like the drones and their carapaces, we should give them armor. We should give them a vigor die of a D8, which immediately gives them a toughness of 6. But I think I want to give them +4 armor from the carapace. I also want to give them, they're going to have strong hand-to-hand attacks. We've established that they're multi-limbed, so we're going to give them they ignore 2 points of action penalties for multi-attack. Not for, I don't feel like we should give it, no, let's go ahead and make it a little more dangerous. Let's give them, no, we're going to do multi-attack penalty. I briefly considered applying it to all multi-actions, but that's not really what we're going with. Yes, they have extra hands, but it's not like they can think faster or taunt better or anything like that. I do think we should, I don't see them as being super strong, so I think like a D6 in strength would be enough. But they do have claws, and I want them to be a little dangerous. So I'm thinking that we give them a D6 in damage for their claws. So their claws are going to do a total of 2d6 damage if they hit one of our unfortunate PCs who will encounter these creatures. Now, I don't think I want to make them resilient. I sort of like the idea of these faceless insectoid drones with their corruptive infusions just being able to be mowed down by the heroes with sweeping attack and rapid fire and Tink's well-placed blasts on our battle maps. Yep, John, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Ooh, +1. I like it. Yeah, let's do that. Now, I'm sort of thinking D6s across the line for everything else except for spirit. I kind of feel like the drones should maybe have a spirit of a D4, representing the fact that they weren't that resilient or independent to begin with, and now this corruptive element that has spread through them has made them even more susceptible to spirit-based attacks, a little bit more difficult to shake off the shaken condition should they get it. And yes, that is exactly what I was thinking about, John Doom, is we're going to give the Lich the ability to use her spirit while in the area of the drones. Much like in a war game, how a commander, you would use their command stat if they were within a certain range. You know what, James? Let's do that. Let's do a bite. We're going to do strength plus D4. And let's give it, let's make it really sharp. Let's make it AP 3. I kind of want to make it poisonous, but we'll get to that. Maybe we'll get to that later. Now, we also said that all of these creatures, we need a good name for these insectoid creatures, by the way. We said that they can absorb magic. And so I kind of want to do venomous. Yes, John Doom. They are. Well, you don't know. Maybe they poison their mandibles from a venomous creature. Or I guess a poisonous plant would be technically correct. Damn it, John Doom. Have a Benny for Friday night. So, what I'm thinking, he said getting his World's Core rulebook out, is that I want to give these creatures sort of two abilities that represent this corruptive magic ability. John Doom, I'm going to toss this out to you. I want, what's the, I think it's in Savage Pathfinder. The power that grants them essentially protection versus magic is what I'm thinking. Arcane protection. What would I title? Protection versus magic. Yeah. All right, so arcane protection means that these creatures suffer a -2 or a -4 to affect these creatures with a power. And I think what I want to do is we'll just give them a flat -2 to attack these creatures with magic. And I think the flip side of that is that we will... we want them to absorb magic. Oh yeah, Padre. Yes, we're definitely going to give some leadership edges to the Queen. Is it too crazy? Well, no. And then what we'll also say is they get a +2. How do I want to do this? What do you guys think about something like +2 to all damage rolls on the turn after they've been targeted by a spell, whether the spell was successful or not? The idea is for that brief moment after they get hit with a power, it supercharges them. Not a lot, just enough to give them a little bit of a boost. Because we said absorb, so I want it to be harder to affect them, but also have some easily trackable upgrade that a GM can very easily use in combat. Not so much reflect the spell, but as it, like, they eat it, essentially. They absorb the magic and it briefly makes them stronger. Now, we also said that they take actually additional damage from corruptive magic, which we'll put as a special ability that basically if your arcane background has the corrupted ability to it, then it is going to do +2 damage to these creatures and negate their absorb magic ability. So creatures like the witches, I think warlocks have it in. There are several different types of arcane backgrounds in the Fantasy Companion that allow you to. Yeah, we're just gonna grab it here because why not? So, for example, the ones I'm thinking about, Diabolist, they have this corruption hindrance. So we're actually going to give you a bonus if you've taken the corruption hindrance against these creatures. So it negates their absorb magic ability. And I think with a fighting of a D6, probably notice of a D6. Any other skills that we feel like we should call out here as a bonus? The only other thing I was thinking of, these are drones, and they're used to get a free soak on a magic attack with a spirit die. I like that. Soak. Spirit-based magic attacks. I like that. The only other thing is they're drones, and insects. They're used to fighting together. So I kind of want to increase the gang up bonus by 1 as long as the gang up bonus applies. So, for example, 2 drones would actually count as 3 drones when you're facing them. And that would actually count for addressing numbers as well. So yeah, a pack tactics or let's call it hive mentality. All right, so that gives us our drone. Obviously, the Lich Queen of the hive is a wild card. Hands down, very easy to do. We'll take the baseline stats for the drones and increase them by 1, but also probably take the spirit die up to a D10. And I would increase her size to large, get the extra wound and the penalty to, or the bonus to hit. Now, Padre brought up a really great point. The fact that the Queen should have access to leadership edges. The leadership edges that I think are really important for her to have are probably command, which gives all extras in the that she's attached to +1 to remove shaken or stunned conditions. Commanding presence, which increases the range at which she does this, because pheromones travel farther than humans can detect. And I kind of feel like... What do you guys feel like? Do we do Fervor or Hold the Line as another... So Fervor says all extras within her command range get +1 to fight damage. Hold the Line says they get an extra toughness while in command range. And right now her command range is 10 inches, which is 20 yards. While the chat thinks about that, Tink says, would they suffer morale issues or fear if another... I think that we would... if the Queen is killed, there should definitely be a fear roll. Ooh, Fervor is a good point. And yeah, we'll have sort of a the queen, if taken out, will trigger a fear check among all of the drones as they basically fly into a panic. Yeah, it's a good call, James. All right. I feel like the queen should have an arcane background as well, right? These are creatures who have been corrupted by magic. And so what is a good place to start? I think, at least to me, a good place to start would be to give them the sorcerer arcane background. Smarts based spellcasting, 3 powers from the list. Probably more like we'd end up giving them 5 powers and maybe 20 power points. 20. Ooh, necromancer. All right, yeah, because we said they were a lich. We'll go with necromancy. What 5 powers, like, what stands out as things that we should definitely have? Zombie. Now I'm going to have that song in my head for the rest of the day. It'll be in my head. You know, in my head. I hope the rest of you are singing along with me. Alright, so we're going to give her Dispel. Obviously, Zombie. Because I hate when Molly does this, I think we're going to do Blind, Blast, and then what's another? I do like Spirit because we've established that she's a spirit-based caster. All right, Spirit. Spell casting. Spirit, which obviously has to be a D10 as well. Burst. Exactly. I kind of feel like there's got to be one other. Do we give teleport or summon undead? Teleport's a good I'm getting out of here. But also I feel like summon undead has the advantage of really moving the fight in one way or the other. Oh, battlefield control. Entangle? Alright, I think I see where you guys are going with Entangle. And I'm putting Summon Undead in there too, because I'm making the monster and I love that power. Obviously, her carapace is going to be a little bit stronger. Vigor die at a D8, so let's give her increased toughness +2, which takes her toughness to 8, and then the carapace armor gives her +4, which makes it a 12. So tough, but not... I like hardening mucus as a power, not just in general. James, you can have one. You can have a Benny for Friday as well. All right, so now we have a powerful Lich Queen. And I'm going to look at the Lich here. Here's the other best part about Savage Worlds. They have so many great monsters that you can just flip over and see how they built something. All right, so I'm looking at the Fantasy Companion. You can follow along at home at page 218. And obviously we'll increase some of these. I'll type all these up and put them out on the Discord server so that you guys can see kind of where I was going with this as well. Let's see here. Oh, well, obviously she has to have undead, which takes her to toughness 10 and armor 14. Ooh. I love the Zombie Lord ability, but I don't want to just copy the Lich. The Zombie Lord says they may raise 3 zombies per power point instead of 1 when using the additional zombie modifier. In addition, undead raised by the Lich with the zombie spell are permanent and don't require power points investment. They simply last until they are destroyed. That's a tempting one. Let me ask you this, because you guys were the ones who created this creature. We said it was sort of a natural Lich, so is there a soul jar? Is there some tree or hive or item that counts as the creature's soul jar for this queen returning from the dead again and again? Because I kind of feel like there is. Yeah, that's a good point, John. I do love the idea of she's like, no, I don't care. My drones stand back up next turn. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I love the Unstoppable. I love the Unstoppable ability. What's your reasoning for piercing? All right, so now we just need to... we'll also have pheromone control, as we established that the queen gives a bonus to the spirit rolls of the drones. In addition to the commanding presence. All right. James, so now we have 2 monsters that we've created for the creature jam. We've got these drones that have some sort of like fungus that has, or corruptive moss, this mana disease that has ripped through them and changed their very forms and states and the way they interact. On top of that, we have how the queens have become very much like, natural liches, that they've just developed and descended to this new plane of existence due to their feeding on this corrupted mana. So, all we need is a name for these things. I mean, we should get a piece of art for this because these monsters are crazy. But we need to come up with a name with them. That's the thing that I think that we definitely need. I will see if Tink has some time to draw some insectoid monsters for us, James. And if not, you can tell your people. But yeah, what is a good... All I'm thinking now is of the Tau, like the Vespid. Tink, any good ideas for names for these creatures? Gesundheit. The Regal Lich. I mean... The Regal Lich. I like that name for the creature. What is kind of the species name? Let's see. We'll take some choices down here. Um, uh, my son would probably come up with something like the krata or the kratak. Those are the sound, the phonemes that he likes. The kratak and the kratak regalich. Well, so that's I'm gonna give Bai Tink some more time because I know put her on the spot. She's got this. I will say that this was a lot of fun. And Thursday, what? The Vespula? I like that. Awesome. Well, this was a ton of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. We're going to create a supervillain for I don't know, a necessary evil game that may be going on. I don't know if DM James, you are more than welcome to use any supervillain that we make on the channel. But yeah, next week Thursday we're gonna spitball what is our supervillain, and I'll just say that if we don't make Grandpa Man, that's fine. But my Heroes Unlimited game, Ben accidentally created the worst superpower ever. You always appear as the person who's looking at you's grandpa. So it's a little like Rising Stars. The woman who is the most beautiful woman in the world no one actually thinks she's the most beautiful woman in the world. They just see their idealized version of the most beautiful woman in the world. So she sort of loses her identity. But you appear as someone's grandpa. And I figure that guy definitely has to be like in his early 20s and just a fountain of rage because of that superpower. So yeah, we're gonna do a superhero next, and then a horror monster, maybe something Lovecraftian or a new take. I'm kind of in a vampire mood. Maybe when we do horror, we'll try and come up with our own unique take on a vampire. So there you go. See? The grandpa power. You can thank Ben for that one. But that's it. That's what we've got for today. We've just made the Vespula drones and the Vespula regalix, also known as the Nexapolitan Rex. Nexapolitan. There's probably an ice cream named after that, the Nexapolitan. Ooh, a Skaven Grey Seer as a supervillain? That's terrifying, Padre. But we'll be back on Thursday with more Behind the Screen. I appreciate you guys always showing back up after I have to call it on account of rain. By rain, I mean health issues. So it's good to be back. I'm really excited about building a superhero villain or a supervillain with you guys on Thursday. And until then, stay safe, stay healthy, stay gaming, everybody. I will be back on Thursday. This has been Behind the Screen, and I will see you all later. Till then, have a good one.